Trump's tariffs have now gone into effect. And based on everyone's reactions, whether if it's Canadians or Americans or politicians around the world, the media, it just demonstrates that President Trump is playing chess and everyone else is apparently playing checkers. Let me explain. Well, first of all, whenever Trump started talking about claiming Canada as a 51st state and also taking over Mexico, people thought he was joking and that it was just a joke in order to gain economic leverage. They weren't taking him seriously, although he was making fun about it. Doing memes, things like that. They just figured it was he wasn't serious, but he is serious, and he has good reason to be serious because, well, if you look at Canada sent about in 2024, Canada sent about 76% of all of its exports to the United States, which equals about 19% of Canada's GDP for last year. Mexico, now they sent about 78% of their exports to the United States, which makes about 36% of Canada's GDP. Now, for us, if you combine both Mexico and Canada's business together, where we exported to them and what they were buying from us, our business dealings with them entirely, either coming or going, it's only 2.7% of our GDP. So it's for us, our relationship with Canada and Mexico is a drop in a bucket, where we don't need them, but they completely need us. They need us. It's been that way. I mean, the reason, the main reason really is America is has the biggest number of consumers in the entire world. What we're buying from Mexico and Canada, China doesn't want to buy it. They don't want to buy it. They're not going to buy it. We were giving Canada a big discount. We weren't Canada, Mexico. We weren't charging them anything. And so they're getting all this, basically getting rich off American consumers and American demand. So no one is going to take our place for these countries. So if we get into a fight, it's going to make them completely collapse and crumble. And to make matters worse for Canada, Justin Trudeau announced his resignation. He's attempting now to contact Donald Trump at this time and work something out. But Donald Trump's not even returning his phone calls. He resigned. He doesn't care. He doesn't want to talk to him. He's useless. But also Justin Trudeau, because he didn't want to lose his position of sort of authority, he has his government taking it's not going to meet until March. So it's not able to do. The reason he did that is because he doesn't want to. They don't want to. Otherwise, if they didn't convene until March, they would just pick a new person, and Justin Trudeau would be completely out of the picture. And he doesn't want to do that yet, but he doesn't want to take care of business. So he's completely messed everything up for the Canadians by doing this. And what's going to happen is the Canadian economy is just going to go into free fall until their government's able to convene and decide what they're going to do. In the meantime, as all this devastation's happening, Canadians, businesses are starting to move into the United States, which is devastating Canada even more. What's probably going to happen is by March, they're just going to say, okay, we'll become the 51st state. What else can they do? And it's because partially because of Trudeau, but also it's partially our fault too that Canada and Mexico's in the situation. Now, in the past, back in the 1800s, America has tried to conquer Canada a few times, in the War of 12 and even before then. But the United States was a much weaker country at the time. We were just like farmers running around with muskets. Um, but since then, we've become friends. We also fought with Mexico. The last time we fought with Mexico, we took half their territory. So, but the since then, though, we've made friends with both these countries, and we've had business relationships. But due to the North American Free Trade Agreement and other dealings in the past few decades with American politicians, they've made it very easy for Canadians and Mexicans to do business in the United States, where it's at America's disadvantage, and where we're losing money, they're gaining money and just getting a huge discount. And the reason for that is our politicians wanted to bring Canada and Mexico up, help out their economy. They were very much struggling, and their standard of living has improved a great deal. Now they have running water, they have electricity, they have kitchens, and they can watch TV and enjoy many of the same conveniences that we here in the United States do. Their standard of living has increased because of this. They've grown used to American luxuries. So Donald Trump sees this. He sees basically that America is paying Canada and Mexico's bills. And just like President Trump is a businessman. He deals with companies. What do companies do? Unfortunately, oftentimes major corporations will see little companies, smaller companies, like say Red Lobster, for example. They'll say, "Hey, we'll help you out. We'll pay all your bills for you, and then you pay us back. Well, we can work something out." And eventually, what happens is they become more and more dependent on that major corporation until the major corporation says, "You know what? We're just going to take you over. You're ours," and that's what the United States is doing to Canada and Mexico. And hey, we're paying their bills, so they're already part of our. They're basically part. We've owned them for many years now. They just haven't realized it. And so what's going on now is there's going to be all kind of economic upheaval, but we're all going to come out of it happier. America will go down a bit. It'll be a little bit hard in these next few months for not only the United States, but especially for Canada and Mexico. But eventually we'll get through it, and we'll all be one happy family. And Canada and Mexico will become the 51st and the 52nd state. Um, Panama canoes, or Panama Canal is also going to be coming back into us too. That's actually an easier situation. We can just declare it because of the United States building the Panama Canal. It's in our contract agreement if there was any sort of threat to our national security, and with all the Chinese vessels going through there, and China basically taking over the Panama Canal, it's a threat to our national security. So because of that, Donald Trump has a right to claim that. Now, then the other thing is Greenland. Economically speaking, we don't have any right to Greenland, but Greenland might just feel that they seem to be very favorable with the idea of joining the United States too. So we'll see what happens with that.